Attracting and Growing the Market. I'm Lisa and I will be going over tonight's webinar with you. So welcome to everyone where this is your first time joining us. Tonight is the last of the parts, and tomorrow we will be starting back at the beginning if you have missed any. So welcome to everyone. Grab a pen and paper, grab an iPad or something to take notes, and I hope that you enjoy it and find lots of helpful information within our webinars. Okay, so first off we will do an acknowledgement of country. 30-foot drop acknowledges the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognises their continuing connection to land, waters and the community. We pay our respects to the Indigenous people, both to the elders, both past and present. 30-foot drop funding. 30-foot drop would like to acknowledge the Department of Communities, Disability Services for funding this and many other initiatives. Without their help, so many projects like the Two Wise Monkeys project wouldn't see the light of day, and we'd be much more poorer for it as a community, so we thank them very much for the funding. This workshop is part of a Realities and Advantages of an Access and Inclusion grant awarded to 30-foot drop as part of an Information, Linkages and Capacity Building grant for 2018 and 2019. I will now go over some housekeeping on how our webinars are run. Unfortunately, we do not have all the resources to monitor all of our live streaming platforms. So what that means is if you're watching from Facebook or YouTube, you won't be able to send me a direct message, but that's fine. All you need to do if you do want to send me a direct message is go to the link below this video, www.30footdrop.com.au, click on there and jump into our website and hit the live button, and you can send me a direct message and I will get that straight away. So that is how we deal with that question part. We'll be covering a lot of information in a short period of time, so we ask attendees to try and minimise any distractions that you might have. I'm at home working at the moment, so I could have distractions, but anyway, because we cover such a lot of information in a short period of time, we just ask to try and minimise any distractions because there's a lot to take in. And as well, please make sure that 30-foot drop is tagged in anything that you share of ours, because we'd love to get the message out there. And the more people that know about what we're doing, the more we can make changes in the community. We'll also be recording the session. Every session is recorded. So if you did need to go back and re-watch anything, you can do that once I have ended this video. And all the research that I speak about in the webinars is all available into greater detail on our website. So jump into that link below and go into resources, and you will find all the information that you need that I've spoken about. What's next? At the end of the webinar, we do have a survey, which we would be really grateful for if you guys could fill that out. At the end, there's only a few questions. Follow this link below and fill out tapping in part 6 survey. And so that is the housekeeping. I hope that all makes sense to you. Now let me introduce myself. I'm Lisa and I'm one of the Two Wise Monkeys. The other monkey is Ben and he is See No Evil. Through Ben, you will hopefully see no evil about impairment, and he will be in another day to take you through some of the workshops also. But tonight, I'm Lisa and I am Hear No Evil. And I hope that tonight you will hear no evil about impairment once we are finished. My story is definitely a more hidden impairment. 30-something years ago, I was born 10 weeks premature. And with premature births, you can have complications that arise straight away or into the future. So I started having complications at school. my family sort of didn't really know what was going on, and I couldn't explain it. Anyway, I was tested and I was diagnosed with mild dyslexia. Teachers used to hit me on the head and read out my low marks, yell at me in front of my classmates, "What's wrong with you? Why don't you understand?" Making me feel absolutely humiliated and really dumb. But despite those challenges, it only made me more determined to succeed and prove those teachers wrong. I ended up finding my passions lay with being creative. So at 13, I realised, hey, I'm okay at art. I'm doing well at photography, art, all these creative things, and that's where my life took me. I ended up getting an arts diploma. I've got a photography business where I sell my own photography, and I also sell my artwork as well. I have a museum grade diploma where I can work with fine art. I've worked all around the world with my arts diploma and my museum grade framing diploma, where I can preserve really old artworks and look at restoration and all that sort of thing. So, don't let those people stop you from being who you want to be, and don't let dyslexia make you think that you are stupid or dumb, despite what anyone else says. You're going to have something within you that is good, and something that you will be good at. So it's just a matter of finding it, and it can take a while to find. I mean, it wasn't until I was 13 that I found it, but once I found it, I just had this boost of confidence, and I thought, wow, I'm actually better at something than other kids, whereas before, it's a struggle when you're at below average, sort of say. But with effort, time and effort, I did extra learning before school, which I hated, but it's just something you have to do if you want to pass. So I encourage that, you do have to do those extra things, and it really does suck, but in order to pass, you kind of have to, but you've still got that thing in the background that you're going to be good at, and that's probably where you'll go with your life. But it's just important to try the best that you can. It doesn't matter that you're not an amazing mathematician or speller. There'll be something that you are good at. Just find that passion and go with it. So that is me. Now, when you look at the monkeys, there's meant to be 3 wise monkeys. So we've got see no evil, we've got hear no evil, who speak no evil. You guys can take a guess as to who speak no evil is. You guessed it, it's you. So the aim of today's workshop is to turn you into that wise monkey, speak no evil. You'll begin on a journey of realising, impairment or not, we are all human and deserve to be acknowledged and treated in the same way as everyone else. So an important message there, we all deserve to be treated with the same respect. There's no difference between us. Some of us are different looking, some of us have disabilities, some of us have impairments, but they are no reasons to treat someone differently. And if you do want to become that speak no evil monkey today, behind me we have an example of the gorgeous t-shirts that we have for sale on our website. So if you want to become that speak no evil, you can purchase one of those. They are available in black and white, and they are from sizes 5 child size to 5XL adult size. So grab yourself one if you want one. Now, so let's have a look how we're going to get you started on the path of a wise monkey. Let's have a look and learn about people with impairment and the potential impact they can have on your business. Today's session is all about how businesses can meet the specific needs of this market in order to tap into their business and create change and inclusive ideas. We'll finish off and focus on tourism and events by having a look at the future. The southwest of Australia has the potential to grow this market, and we will look at how this can be accomplished. To finish up, we will have an open forum session where people can ask any questions that they like, and none are off limits. So how are we going to cover this? What will our teaching method be? The answer is fun, open and honest discussion. If we can't be open and honest about disability and impairment, how it affects us, the changes that need to be made, then nothing's going to change. So we need to be open and honest about how we feel in order to make changes. So, as well, you will notice that there's very little written content on the slides, and that is so that you can interact with the slides easily. You're not trying to keep up with complex information, too much wording, and here at the Two Wise Monkeys, we don't believe in death by PowerPoint, so that's kind of why as well. But as well, it's nice and easy for people that do have an impairment or a disability that may be watching. And if you are watching and you're finding it hard to hear, you can jump over to the platform Facebook, turn the sound down, and you now have subtitles, which is awesome of Facebook to do. Now let's hope that some other platforms jump on board with the subtitles. So that is the outline and method. Next, I'm going to go over some terminologies and some wording that some people get mixed up thinking they're the same thing. First up, let's talk about impairment. An impairment is an injury, illness, or congenital condition that causes or is likely to cause a loss of difference in psychological and physiological function. In short, your impairment is your medical diagnosis. So my impairment is that I was diagnosed with mild dyslexia at 8. A disability, on the other hand, is the loss or limitation of opportunities to take part in society on an equal level to others due to social and environmental barriers. It is, as the word implies, something that makes you unable to access or participate in something. For example, someone with a learning disability, someone with dyslexia like me, too much wording, stylized script, complex information can make it hard for people with learning disabilities to get the right information that they need to use your business or service. This is especially important to know because some people's impairments are hidden. And if people's impairments are hidden and you've got complex information on your website or in your marketing, then they are not understanding your message and you're potentially losing business. So something to think about there. Make sure your information is easy to understand and not too complicated. So I hope the first two words are making sense, the descriptions of them. Next I'm going to talk about access and inclusion. Access refers to the removal or reduction of barriers, physical and attitudinal, to participate in activities and functions of a community. At its core, access focuses a lot on the physical world around us and can be assessed with a checklist. So you own a cafe, you're not sure whether the doors are even wide enough for someone in a wheelchair to access, your door handles, are they at a level where people can reach up and grab if they're in the wheelchair, they're short stature, or they have a mobility issue. All these things you can check. So if you want to check those, we do have an accessibility checklist that you can get from our website. So follow the link below and look in resources and you will see that there is an accessibility checklist. So you can go around your business and make sure that it is accessible. Inclusion. Inclusion is more of a psychological state of being and is a process whereby every person, irrespective of their age, disability, gender, religion, sexual preference or nationality, who wishes to can fully participate in all aspects of an activity or service in the same way as every other member in the community. Inclusion is helping every single human feel included. Jump onto the link below and ask any questions that you may have. Next, we will be getting into it, which are the specific needs of the market. In Webinar 5, we discuss the similarities between travellers with impairment and the rest of the population, showing that there is much of similarities between the general population. There are some important differences and specific needs that we need to talk about. Travellers with an impairment have a strong tendency to manage the stress and uncertainties of travel by returning to destinations that they know well. Consequently, they appear to have a higher rate of repeated visitation to businesses that support their needs, meaning that they are very loyal customers. So if you've got what they need in your business, then they are going to keep coming back. But if you want them to come to you, then you need to look at the things that we are discussing to make your business more inclusive and accessible. The Accessible Tourism in Victoria and Queensland report found that there are 3 needs which can be used to attract this market. These are information, planning, and service. Let's now go over these. Women need support in planning their experience if they are going to travel as much as they wish to. Also, for it to be an enjoyable experience rather than a stressful one. Let's face it, who just loves to go on holiday? And someone with a disability and impairment is no different. It is probably quite stressful for them organising it most of the time anyway. So let's try and take the stresses away and just have those things available in the front page of how you are accessible and inclusive. Overall though, more detail in the information that is currently being provided was the highest priority of this market. So there's a survey done and that was the highest priority for someone with a disability and impairment. They want more information, particularly for those with limited mobility. While this mostly related to digital resources such as websites and site reviews, it could also refer to information anywhere travellers looked, including destinations here and overseas. Also, more than just having long documents with complex information, we need more information that is relevant. Most places already have different measures in place. Let them know by putting it on your website and on your profiles such as TripAdvisor or Expedia. As well, make the information easy to find and absorb. This specifically relates to the accessible tourism market. Information which is not prominently displayed and is very often complex. So, people are finding with disability impairment, they're going to websites or site reviews and they're finding that the information is hard to find. So if it's hard to find, you're probably not even going to go to that business or service. I know for me, if it's too hard basket, I'm done. I go somewhere else. And I'm sure that they are no different. If you haven't got your accessibility and your inclusiveness on your main menu or your front page so it's easy to see straight away, then they're probably walking away. So another thing to look at. As we discussed in the previous session, this is a decisive market segment, and people with impairment are more likely to stop a transaction or discourage others from using your business or service if their needs are not met. So, as discussed in previous webinars, we learnt that people with disability and impairment are more than likely, what was the figures? I think it jumps up to 1 in 3 are more than likely going to dissuade friends and family from using your business because you didn't meet their needs. So they talk, especially if they're not happy with how they are treated within your business. So another thing to be careful of. Information needs to be well structured rather than a 50-page document with all the information on it. Now, no one wants that. This can be very overwhelming for someone with a disability or impairment, and they're just going to probably walk away from it. Look at breaking it down into smaller and logical parts. For example, one part on how to let the business or service know what it is that you need, And then another part where people can access your ramps, toilets, on how people can access your ramps, toilets and acrod bays. You could have a map on your website showing someone where to go. So they're coming into your business for an appointment. Maybe the person on the phone has explained where the parking is. Make it easy. Have a map on there so that they know directly where the parking spot is, where the accessible path is to get into your business. And if you've got all that there, then they're going to feel comfortable and included in coming into your business. Information needs to be also relatable when choosing accommodation, attractions and experiences. Include a range of images that cover impairments. This would help the potential traveller feel that they are choosing an option or place that they do feel comfortable going to. Use someone in your marketing, in your advertising. If you've got those things for that market, then advertise it. As discussed earlier, when you can relate to the marketing, you subconsciously feel welcomed. So that's a big thing there. You're going to feel welcomed if you are showing that you are inclusive and accessible by using people with mobility issues in your advertising. Okay, information continued. What the number one priority to drive accessible tourism is. The most mentioned was information was relevant to travellers with specific needs. So specific needs, anything like that, make sure that information is there. Okay, you have a mobility issue, we have this, this and this. You have this kind of impairment, we have this, this and this for you. Let it be known, have it on there so that they come to you and want to use you and choose you. There are many, and there are many websites as well. A subject which has been brought up many times with Ben and I is introducing an accredited system. This shows businesses that they have made the right commitment and implementation of accessible travel systems. This would be an amazing step forward for everyone and the future. So what that is you register your business, say it's a cafe, keep going with cafe, register your cafe, and some assessor will come in and check out your cafe. Yes, it's accessible, yes, it has this, this, this and this, and they could say, right, you have got a 5-star for how accessible and inclusive you are, or you've got a 1-star for how accessible and inclusive you are. So someone with a disability or impairment goes to that website and they see, oh, I would like to go to this cafe in this area, and a couple of cafes come up. Oh, no, that one's got a 1-star, so we won't go there. But hang on, that one's got a 5-star, so we will go there. So that is what that accredited system will look like. And hopefully very soon that will be coming out into Australia. I know that in New Zealand they have one of those already, which is an amazing step forward. So when asked what the priority for improvements to this market was, 86% rated that the addition of more practical information as very important. This included locations of acrod bays, which are parking bays, toilets and access ramps. 83% rated an increased prominence of this information on tourism and transport websites. So all of this information that I'm speaking about that you need to include on your websites and marketing, it all needs to be prominent information. Don't have it hidden away, because then people are not going to want to go searching for it. You need to make sure it's in the main menu or on the first page. Okay, planning. Let's move on to the next part. People with impairment, especially those with mobility issues, have specific needs that, if not met, makes visiting a business or event impossible. With all of the effort and cost it takes to planning a trip or visit somewhere, lots of research is done beforehand to ensure that these resources are not wasted. 40% of respondents stated that not knowing what to expect was a barrier to travel, highlighting the benefit for more detailed information needing to be available when planning their trip. As you can see, there is a need for expert advice at the planning stage if you want to attract this market. Creating relationships and prompting your accessibility on platform and websites such as the disability forums, peak bodies in the area, specialist travel agents, and even the NDIS coordinators are all important people to be involved. Internally, you can appoint an accessibility coordinator, someone who is knowledgeable in all aspects of your accessibility in your organisation or business. This person would be responsible for answering all the accessibility queries and questions, and also will create strong forming relationships. This coordinator will now address the next point of the research, which I jumped ahead then, which highlighted a strong preference to connect with a business or destination personally, either by phone or email. So people in the study with disability impairment have said that they want a strong personal connection to feel like they can come and use your business. If you're giving them that strong personal connection, then they're probably going to choose you guys. So if you've just got email and you've got messages and it's all flowing, it's not really understanding what's going on and what you have, they need that personal connection. And I need it too. Most people need it. This would provide a potential customer with the information in a rapid and accurate manner, increasing the likelihood of converting it to a sale. That personal connection is so important, especially for someone with a disability or impairment. Traditional travel agents with a strong service ethic could also be important in driving this conversion, particularly for older travellers and those who have lower support needs. Many clients have low expectations, so this advice could expand their interest and create demand for new products. Oh, sorry, my iPad's just... So many clients had lower expectations, so this advice could expand their interest and create demand for new products. Travellers with an impairment find it hard to be inspired when they don't know what is possible, and having an advocate for this would be a huge win. So someone that is there, someone that is making it all happen and giving them answers that they need straight away is really going to boost it. Let's now go into service. There are still many challenges with regards to attitudes and understanding from the tourism, hospitality, event staff and those of the public towards travellers with an impairment. This is especially a challenge for younger travellers with an impairment and those who have hidden impairments, who require support in less obvious ways. Top service by all staff is a key driver for recommendation across all travel categories. As we know, good service drives more customers. Cost is also very important for many travellers with a disability or impairment, as they need to travel with a carer extra equipment, which makes travelling even more expensive. Assistance with these costs, including potentially through the National Disability Insurance Scheme or via a special deal or service for those with a carer, would assist in travel. And this will also have a ripple effect in regards to ethical consumerism. Disabilities and impairments do need a carer, and it's going to cost money. Carer, whether it's free for the carer or the eat free for the carer, stuff like that. There's all sorts of things that you can do so that it is more affordable for families to come and visit your service and have an enjoyable holiday with their carer. Now, next we will look at growing the market in your region. So we're going to look at the stakeholders. So we have looked at this segment and what potential we can tap into. How are we going to grow this? What needs to be done and who needs to be involved? The opportunity to grow this market is a multifaceted project which all key stakeholders have a special role to play. Who are these stakeholders? Let's have a look. First up, we have people with an impairment, their families and their carers. These are people who will be served by this project, and having a direct understanding of their needs is critical at every stage. They need to be central to every decision made, or it's not going to work. Peak bodies that represent both tourism and the disability sector need to make choices alongside people with disability to ensure that they know what the needs are going to be. Who else is involved? The government on a state and local level to help with infrastructure. Destination management and organisations such as visitors centres. Tourism and events service providers. These are all people that need to get involved to bring this together and to build a better future for every human being. Growing the market in this region. There are some stages here. This part is intended as an executive overview of the stages. It is by no means a how-to or must-do. We realise that there is a lot more involved, but in being that said, let's get into it. There are 5 stages that require growth in this market. They are consult, inspire, educate, correlate, promote, and lastly, build. Let's have a look closer as to what these mean. Stage 1, consult. This should be the foundation of accessible tourism. It should ensure that what is offered is built on a rich understanding of what travellers with an impairment want and need. This is the responsibility for all stakeholders, but government and destination management officers can take the lead, as they have the resources and skills to undertake projects and research to then guide others. Growing the market in your region, stage 2, inspire and educate. Ensure that the industry has an understanding of the potential of this sector and has provided support on how to start targeting it. Government, destinations and peak bodies should all have a role in driving this. Further to that, many travellers with an impairment have low expectations of what is available, while their aspirations for travel are high. The task here is to encourage them to explore and test the boundaries and let the businesses know what they want and need. Peak bodies and service providers can play a strong role here, so that individual operators like you. Now here is a picture of Ben, my boss, with his wife and his son Logan. Now, I think he was talking to a friend who was going to be abseiling down the tallest building in Perth, and I think he said something along the lines of, well, if I had the opportunity to do that, I would do it, thinking there's no way in hell he's going to ever be able to do it. Anyway, someone heard him, peak bodies came together, everyone came together, and they made it happen. So Ben, in his wheelchair, abseiled down the tallest building in Perth. So it just shows anything is possible. You just need to come together and make it work. And he's proof of it. So growing the market, stage 3, correlate. This is all about bringing the experiences together to provide a holistic offering in some key destinations, which will help the traveller plan and navigate their trip. Government and peak bodies, both in the tourism and disability sectors, and service providers can all potentially play a role to help identify new areas of experience and product development, or supporting infrastructure. Governments can work with the sectors in a number of ways, including improving accessibility standards in the industry and developing infrastructure that considers the complete user's use. Okay, stage 4 is promote. Many travellers are not aware what is on offer. Therefore, it is important to promote what is available to generate demand for your business. The information needs to be easy to find, well structured, and provide the opportunity to develop further planning and to build confidence in the experience or the trip. This is the responsibility of individual businesses and destinations. Growing the market, the last stage for tonight, is build. While not the highest priority for now, new infrastructure needs to be the subject of ongoing focus, ensuring that any new infrastructure employs universal design principles, which will make this opportunity more cost effective in the future. This is a cross-industry responsibility. It is also important for new businesses and companies to follow these standards, and it is also the responsibility of people with impairment and disability to generate this demand. So if you're building a new building business, make sure that it's got everything that it needs for someone with a disability or impairment, because there is no one going round checking that. No one is making sure, oh, your door frames are wide enough for a wheelchair. You're going to need a ramp here because someone's not going to get in here with a mobility issue. So those things, please make sure that you go over before spending all this money to build this amazing building and then finding out later, oh, it's not accessible. We now have to add to it to make it accessible. It's such a shame that there's no one out there doing it already in Australia. Not sure about the rest of the world, but anyway, it's not cool. Every building needs to be accessible from the beginning, and let's get that ball rolling and start that new trend. So that is webinar part 6, attracting and growing the market. I hope that you all enjoyed it tonight and understood it all. If you need more research, please head over to our website and look under the resources and you'll find more information. But if you do need more information, please contact us. Right now, I'm going to ask anyone that would like to ask a question to jump on the website and ask some questions. So I will hit the open forum button now if anyone has questions. For those that have to go have dinner, go read stories to your children, whatever it is, I will let you go. But first, please jump onto our website and fill out the Tapping in Part 6 survey. But if anyone has any questions, please jump into the website and send me any questions. I will be waiting. And I will see you very soon. I'm going to go listen. I'll help you in 5 minutes, okay? I've just got to say goodbye. Okay, bye. Yes, Carl, I've got to finish work. It's not, I promise. 2 minutes. Take Cleo out. I'm going to say goodbye. Okay, go. Okay, go. No, don't. Hey guys, doesn't appear to be any questions tonight, but that is fine. I will let you all jump onto that link below and please fill out the survey for tonight. Join me tomorrow if you are interested. We are starting back at webinar part 1, where we will go over the disability employment services and all those kind of fun things, talking about employing someone with a disability and impairment. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope to see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.